Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's meditation session. And hope we're all doing very well. So we are going to continue. We are kind of midway through this the current 21-day series. So if you have missed any recent classes, or if you're here for the first time, please feel free to join one of the breakout rooms at the end, or also view the recordings of these sessions, which are available on YouTube. So our tech team will share the links for all of these during this session. So I want to introduce myself as well as my co-presenter today. So my name is Sudeep Hegde. I live in a town called Clemson in South Carolina in the US. I work at Clemson University as an assistant professor of industrial engineering, and I have been practicing Sahaja Yoga since 2008. And so with me today is Kalyan, who's also a musician, so we'll be listening to some of his music as well today. So Kalyan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Great to be back here again. Um, I live in Hartford, Connecticut, and I work in the IT industry as a program director. I started Sahaja Yoga in 2005, and I play the violin. I play Indian classical music. So today we are going to have a little longer segment of music with meditation where we are going to actually play different ragas for each of the different chakras. So we will do that. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Kalyan. Yes, we definitely are looking forward. As always, the format of the session would be, we will start with a foot soak. So have a tub of water and some salt ready, and some fresh water on the side. And after that, we will listen to a talk by Shri Mataji, and then come back and continue meditating while listening to Kalyan's violin, where he'll play a raga. And that also uh, it brings my attention to the fact that the topic for today is um, evolution along our central channel and the role of music in our spiritual ascent. So, if you've been to these sessions before, you may recall this chart, this diagram, which depicts our subtle anatomy, the subtle system within our body, consisting of 7 main chakras or energy centers that you can see along the spine, numbered 1 through 7, as well as what's known as nadis or energy channels. There are 3 main energy channels, one on the left, one on the right, and one in the center. Now, we're going to focus today on the central channel, but as a quick recap, the left channel, which you can see here in the blue, relates to our past. It has everything to do with our past, our memories, our desires, and our subconscious. And the right channel has everything to do with the future, and all conscious thought and action is on the right. So desire and action, past and future. And the central channel is the channel of the present, where our awareness is in the now, in the present. And being in the present is also it's contingent upon how balanced we are. If we are swayed too much by the past or too much towards the future, it's hard to be in balance. It is hard to be in the present. But being in meditation essentially means having our awareness principally along this central channel, and being in the present. And the chakras, in the previous session on Sunday, we learned about how to identify blockages in our chakras. So as the kundalini, the energy that resides in the sacrum bone at the bottom of the spine, rises, this living energy, she passes along passes through all of these different chakras, and if there are any blockages, she corrects them, and we can feel that activity on our fingertips or along the palms. So, but this ascent is primarily on the central channel, and the channel, the significance of the channel is our evolution and our ascent. So, without further ado, let's get into meditation, starting with the foot soak today. So, hopefully, you all have the setup ready before you. So, let's sit comfortably. Keep our back straight, hands open on our laps. And let's allow our attention to settle down. One way to do that is to observe our breathing. We can slow down our breathing. We can take longer and deeper breaths. And as always, we will begin the meditation by using these hand gestures to raise the Kundalini 3 times and then balance the 2 sides by bringing the left to the right and the right to the left. So first, we'll raise the Kundalini. The left hand simply comes up like this from the bottom of the spine to above the head, while the right hand wraps around it in this fashion. So this symbolizes raising the energy through the centers above the 7th center, above the Sahasrara. So we'll do this again, a second time. And this time we'll tie 2 knots. We tie these knots to establish the energy over the head. And the third time, same thing. We'll bring it up and tie 3 knots. And now we will balance ourselves by bringing the energy of the left, raising, so we'll bring the right hand near the left hip, raise the hand, arch it over the head, and bring it all the way down the right, near the right hip. And then back, up the right, arch, and down the left. So this is, we just balanced ourselves at the level of the first center. We'll do this 6 more times because there are 7 main centers. Now we can use this energy that should be active in us, and many of us may already feel it. So we'll direct this energy through our right hand into the water and the salt by making clockwise motions like this over the water. And as we do this, we can appeal, we can pray that the quality of the sea, the quality of the ocean is imbued in this water and salt so that it may absorb and cleanse us. We can put our feet in. Let's observe how we're feeling on our hands. can first put the right hand towards the earth. And feel that connection with Mother Earth. And ask Mother Earth, please clear any negative energy, any imbalances in my Mooladhara chakra, the first center. And let the quality of this center, that is innocence, shine in me. Mooladhara is also the root of the left energy channel. So with the help of Mother Earth, we are also clearing the left channel. Freeing ourselves from any burdens from the past. Purifying our desires. We can bring the right hand back on our lap. And we raise the left hand by bending the left arm at the elbow, pointing the hand upwards. The right hand remains open on the lap. And we can appeal to the sky and the ether elements to take away all the excess heat generated on the right channel. Let me not be identified with my actions, with my thoughts. Let me be free from worry. In the awareness that I am the Spirit. I am that witness. We can bring the left hand down. And bring our attention to the central channel, which passes along the spine. First of all, we can humbly pray to that energy, that sacred energy at the base of the spine. O Mother Kundalini, please take me higher. Take me from the base, from the gross, from the material, to the sublime spirit. And make me one with the divine. You can put the left hand, the Swadhisthana chakra, which is just below the stomach, below the navel. Right near the waistline. Give me pure knowledge. The knowledge of my ascent. The knowledge of my self-realization. The knowledge of my yoga. And let my attention be still and focused. So that it may go deep. You can bring the left hand back. And bring the right hand just in front of the abdomen and slowly raise it in front of our body, up and above the head. We are guiding the path of the energy along the central channel. Bringing it above the seventh center, over the head. So you can do this a few times slowly. And place the right hand across the forehead and gently press on both sides near the temples. And simply say, I forgive. I forgive every thought. I forgive everyone. And I forgive myself. And bring down. Keep our attention at the top of the head. And slowly open our eyes. And conclude the foot soak by rinsing off our feet one by one. And make sure you don't put your feet back in that water. We can set it aside for now. As we continue to keep our attention just over the seventh center, over the head, let us listen to a talk by Shri Mataji where she talks about the significance of music in our meditation and in our ascent. And she talks about how it's important to listen to the right kind of music. If you listen to the right kind of music, um, where there is purity of notes, where there are certain boundaries for the melodies, then that kind of music can resonate with your chakras, with your subtle system, and uh, and help us be in that meditative state. So let's listen to this talk. It's from the 80s when she spoke in New Delhi.
Count your blessings. You are really specially blessed people for your good deeds in last lives. But this life you have achieved, I don't know what sort of awareness, that people just don't want to see anything. Like the music that appeals to your spirit must be sung, must be appreciated, you see. Instead of that, it is horrible, la 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 la, that goes on. I don't know how people don't go mad with it, and then on psychedelic things you work on people. It's really maddening. It will madden even a dog, leave alone anyone. If you play that kind of a horrid music that they have very karkashala काय म्हणतात असेल इंग्लिश मध्ये shrilling shrill sort of thing, even a dog would go mad. I tell you, try on a dog. To me, I mean, I know Mozart was a realized soul. Mozart was a realized soul, no doubt. And there were so many like that, but they cannot be appreciated by. You see, you can even have jazz. Music is good. Jazz has got so much of creativity in it. It works out on a creative thing. But you must base it on something that is related to your being inside. Like Indian music, you can call it something like jazz. In the sense, it is so spontaneous. But you have to first build it up into melodies. You have to go to a guru to understand what a melody is. And you have to keep to that boundaries of melody. Like a plane, it has to ascend. Then it cannot go hither and thither, throw all its wings on all the sides, you see. It has to be bound in the same way. In the same way, a melody has to move in a particular manner and it has to go up and down. But you have all the power to create the permutations and combinations and the way to build up the whole image of the beautiful melody. You can just make the whole palace out of it. But if you go just amok here and there, supposing now if you don't use the plumb line and build this building, what will happen? You won't see it third day standing here. It's like that. You cannot go amok with it. Now, jazz music is good, but it must have the collection with the basics. But because, you see, in India we were more sort of meditative people, believed in meditation and taking our sort of guidance from the meditative rishis and munis. You see, music has the same principle. Then even art, you see, even drama, everything. In a drama, how to create a particular mood, you see, what words to be used, what sentences to be used, what language to be used, what makes your body stand on your this thing. But sometimes I find that when it is without understanding of the science of creating mood, you see, science, the divine science of creating the mood, what happens that when you are trying to create a mood of, say, great courage, you just start laughing, it creates a joke, out of it, because you don't know the basis of that. So all the roots of everything must be found out, the essence of everything should be found out. You cannot just go amok.
Respect the artist and the art, otherwise art won't grow. So now we have here some very nice musicians. I was surprised that none of them made any mistakes. That's the best part of it, though they were coming from different countries. And they did it so well and with such speed and understanding. I wanted them to play this Binati Suniya because in India we don't have any notation. Can you imagine? We don't have any composers. Only thing is we have to go through rigorous training for at least, I don't know, I used to think that it's at least 20 years or 30 years, but nowadays I find the Western people get it in 3 years, something special about them. And after that only they can start singing with their own originality, with their own expressions. They don't need, they themselves are composers, as if they know the whole knowledge, how to build up, how are the melodies are, ragas are, how far to go, how to express, and they are left to themselves to do it. Now there's a rapport between the audience and between them. So that rapport works and they know how to play. This is another style. I would say both styles are all right. There's nothing wrong in any style or another style. But for Indian style, you have to go into a rigorous training, and if there are people who are connoisseurs sitting here, then you can be found out that you are making mistake, you are doing this. But normally, it is very enjoyable in the same way as your music is. You had composers and composers And they are different types of people. We couldn't play all of them today, but perhaps I like all of them very much, and I enjoy Western music equally same as Indian music, as well as South Indian music. Music is music. I mean, I don't understand that this music is superior, that music is superior. There's nothing like that. They are all different types of music, and only thing is you must have a sensitive ear to enjoy it. One's enjoyment is abstract. It is not according to the country, according to any style or anything. Everywhere music has developed, and we should learn to appreciate, to enjoy every type of music. I'm very happy and thankful the way you have played your orchestra. It was really remarkable. I never thought that you all will join together like this, though I've heard. I mean, Austria is very good, and also Romania is very good. They have so many good musicians there. But for Indians, it's a treat because they have never heard Mozart, I think. Very few people must have heard him, of course. He was a great master, no doubt. Vivaldi, all of them. Tremendous people, no doubt. But I had a chance to go abroad, and I had a liking for music, so I could hear them. It's a chance, a great chance for Indians here to hear all these great composers. So thank you very much for that.
We'll just sit in silent meditation for a minute or so. Now, in the next segment, we are going to use music for each of the 7 centers. I will be playing short melodies, and these melodies are specifically designed for the centers. So they will help in nourishing the centers, making them more balanced, opening them out, and so on. And these are traditional melodies from the Indian classical music. We will intersperse after each center, we will have a period of silence where we'll just enjoy about a minute of silent meditation. We are just reconnecting and making sure we are in a state of thoughtless awareness. And during that silence, we can also just do a simple gesture of raising our hand up along, just in front of our body, along the central channel, which is along the spine, and bringing the energy up to the Sahasrara, which is the last center at the top of the head, and then taking it beyond. So we re-establish our attention here, just in case it drifts away. Then we'll try to keep our attention steady as much as we can. We will be relaxed throughout. There is no effort. We'll just be in a state of joy. Just watch and enjoy. So I'll start with the first center, which is at the base of the spine. It's called the Mooladhara. And this center gives us purity and innocence, which is fundamental to our spiritual growth. So I'll start with a short raga. we'll just listen to the Tanpura sound and just stay in silent meditation. Now let's see if we can gently lift our attention to the second center, which is the Swadhisthana chakra. It's at the level of the waist along the spine. This center gives us creativity, the pure knowledge, the pure attention. We will raise the energy along the central channel by using our right hand. We will take our attention to the third center at the navel area. We can put our right hand on the navel. We'll bring up our attention to the heart. We can put our right hand on the center heart. Let's bring our attention to the throat area, which is the fifth center. We can put our right hand just at the base of the throat, a few fingers at the base of the throat. This center gives us the joy of collectivity. It gives us sweet communication. It gives us sweet relationships. It gives us a good self-esteem. And it helps us establish our witness state. We'll put our right hand back on our lap and just continue to stay in meditation as we listen to this music. We'll put our right hand across the forehead. And bring our right hand back to our lap. So I'll play the next two rags one after the other without a break in between. So we can take our attention to the top of the head. I'm going to play a rag for the center at the forehead, followed by the rag for the center at the top of the head. We will just have a longer silent meditation for 3-4 minutes. We will keep our attention over the top of the head. can slowly open our eyes.
Thank you, Kalyan. You really took us deep into meditation today with your music. And the theme for today was deepening the silence and ascending through our central channel. And what a wonderful way to do that while exploring the dimension of music and its connection with our subtle system. And hopefully, you all enjoyed this meditation and could experience the effect of good music on our system. So, thank you all. Just a few quick announcements. So, once again, the session, as always, happens on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. It goes on for 7 weeks. It's a 21-day session, and then there are collective foot soak and meditations on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well at the same time, and the same Zoom link. So feel free to join those in between sessions as well to keep the continuity. And the theme for Thursday's meditation this week is on enlightened faith, also known as Shraddha, and how it's beyond just believing. So we'll see what it means to enlighten our faith and go deeper. And here are some resources for you to stay connected. You can always request a mentor in the chat, and you can join our WhatsApp group where more links are shared. And here's the link for the YouTube sessions. So if you want to quickly scan the QR code, here it is. And now, if you, we are at the end of today's session. There is a small segment in the main room, but if you want to work one-on-one with a mentor for some more time, please ask for breakout room help in the chat. And we'll match you with a mentor and someone will work with you. And in the meantime, in the main room, the presenters, Kalyan and myself, will be having a discussion, as is always the last segment of every meditation session. So while our tech team is opening up the breakout rooms and people are joining, so I have a few questions. And both Kalyan and I will take a stab at these. So I'll start with first question, Kalyan. We say that the central channel is the subtle channel of our evolution. What does this mean to you?
Okay. Yeah, so the central channel is the one through which this pure energy rises. And when it does that, it gives us higher levels of awareness. So when we evolve, what really evolves is the awareness that we have. And it's through the central channel that we evolve through our awareness. We become more and more in touch with our real self. And when this awareness takes us beyond our thoughts, that's when we really truly get established in the silence of the present moment.
Right.
And for me, it is such a big relief that we don't have to be always dependent on just the thoughts and staying in the clutter of the thoughts, but really open out and express the purity that's there within us.
Yeah, really well said. and I think this someone had referred to this in one of the previous sessions. Thoughts come from the ego or the superego, so from the left or the right side. And in my own experience, I found that to be in the center, which is to be in balance, of course, but the balance is not really like a tug of war between left and right. It's not a stretched sort of a balance. It's actually to go higher. And when you relax, when you let go of this duality of the left and the right, as you said, the awareness spontaneously rises and becomes one with the spirit, and that is where our freedom lies. And as you very nicely put, thankfully we are not having to tussle with the clutter of thoughts. So it is in letting go that we rise along the central channel. So yeah, we'll move on to the next question, and this relates to today's talk. What did you find interesting about what Shri Mataji talked about in today's talk?
Yeah, so she talked about the boundaries, right, in music. It is, I mean, that really struck a connection with me because, like, for us to have a balanced life and for us to really enjoy and be effective in the kinds of roles that we play in our life, there is always a balance, there is a boundary that we need to stay within, right? And the boundary is very subtle, it depends on the situation, it depends on our role, like how we conduct ourselves, what we say, what we don't say, and all of that, right? And in music, that's very much the case. There are boundaries that are very subtle, and it takes many years for us to understand like what is truly within the raga and what is kind of going beyond the boundary, right? So that connection is so beautiful. And sometimes in the beginning, when we try to play improvised music, we want to give ourselves the freedom to experiment, and when we do, we actually go to towards the boundary or even beyond the boundary.
Sure.
And it takes a while for us to know how to do that improvisation but stay within the boundary. But after a certain point, it becomes natural, and then you really truly feel that freedom, right? You don't feel the boundaries as constraints anymore. You find them as like it's very natural to be within the boundary. So that was very interesting in what she said.
Yeah, me too. I mean, in Sahaja Yoga and through these meditation sessions, we've used music many times, and I think we understand the effect on meditation. But this was the aspect of boundaries was definitely something new that I learned today, and which is so true because, and for those who are perhaps new to Indian classical music, I may just quickly add that what what Kalyan is referring to as ragas is basically like a set of notes. It's a melodic scale, and each raga has a specific set of notes in the ascending and the descending. And you basically the movement of the raga is within those notes, and you can play with the permutations and combinations as such, playing with the melody. But then when you stay within that boundary, within those notes, you're evoking certain feelings, you're evoking certain essences of the raga. Like for the heart chakra, it tends to awaken that a sense of courage and security and bravery and so on. So each raga has qualities, just as each chakra has its qualities. And the deftness of the musician is in staying within those melodic boundaries to awaken those chakras, which is why I certainly had a wonderful experience today because Kalyan is so good at doing it. So at playing these ragas. So, and the next question is actually related. How does music help you clear your chakras and go deeper?
Yeah, so it is very spontaneous. So when you listen to music, it just naturally has an effect directly on the centers, directly on the awareness. It is beyond the mind, right? So the music is something that reaches you without having to use your mind or your intellect. It just directly reaches within you, and then that is how it's able to clear you. And it is one thing to have music, listen to it, and get yourself cleared. It's a kind of different experience where you use meditation to play the music, which is really, I mean, for me, as I have evolved through my meditation as well as through music, I find that when you are in that state, it makes things effortless, and it's so it's so joyous when it flows, right? And you know that you are not the doer. There are times when you get things that you would normally not get in an effortless way. It just happens spontaneously when you are in that state. So it's a very enjoyable experience.
Sorry, I think I lost connection for just a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say, because it's not just music for meditation, but being in meditation, produces music. That
Yes.
spontaneity comes so true, and the sort of the music and the musician become one, right? Like
Yes.
there's no more musician as such. There's just
Yes.
music,
Absolutely.
or for that matter, any artist I think can attest to that state when they are like the dancer and the dance become one.
Mm-hmm.
The sense of I completely dissolves. So and it just flows. So I want to share one experience. I was, conducting a meditation session several years ago in Boston. It was an in-person session, and I thought I'll experiment with music it was beginners and some intermediate people. So I played a few ragas, recorded uh, performances of masters, and I didn't tell them which raga was for which chakra, but I asked them to sort of tell me what their experience was. And very interestingly, when I played the raga for the Vishuddhi,
Mm-hmm.
the same that you played today, there was this lady who said there was this stiffness and pain in her shoulders that she had for several years, and for the first time she felt her shoulders relax and she felt that pain go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told her, that the raga is for the Vishuddhi, which actually governs this whole area. That was a very telling experience for me, and like a validation that this music has that effect on our chakras and on our meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is so much more to explore in terms of how to use music for our growth and for our clearing. So it was wonderful how we managed to experience some of that, that dimension of music today. So thank you once again so much, and yeah, we look forward to having you again here, Kalyan.
Sure, absolutely. I
On your
look
music.
forward to it. I look forward to it as well. I really
Yeah,
enjoy these sessions, and thank you as well for a beautiful meditation.
yeah, thank you, and thank you all once again. And as always, thank you to our tech support team who want to do a wonderful job behind the scenes. And you're all welcome to stay on here and continue meditating. There'll be some music playing, so you can continue to meditate silently. And but with this, we end officially the session for today. Have a lovely night, and have a wonderful week ahead. And hope to see you all on Thursday. Good night.
Thank you.